let's go check in with Sarah.
Chasing the Lord Seeker, I hear. Anyone who thinks they need Lord in front of the name, that's bad. Bet he's got a portrait taller than he is. That's your first clue to a total arse. Fact.
Tell me about your background, Sarah.
Tell me about yourself.
What about me?
Where are you from?
How about the basics? Where are you from?
Ferelden?
I got that from the accent. Where in Ferelden?
All over? Okay, fine. Denerim for a bit. South, north, wherever I want.
Oh, so you're skirting the question.
Oh, you're from wherever. I'm from north wherever.
What?
North wherever. Oh, we had fun on street and or in local tavern.
Oh, hardy ha. Oh, funny you. It's complicated. I don't like complicated. Let's leave it at that. Maybe.
Okay, well, who trained you?
You're skilled. Who taught you how to use a bow?
No one.
That seems unlikely.
What? I picked it up here and there. Mostly it just makes sense. It's not like that for you.
Only when I'm boasting.
Oh, certainly. Not a day's effort for the naturally gifted like us.
Well, it's not like that. It takes work. A bit. Not like Cullen and his pets. I mean, you miss, then you don't. Is it that hard to see when it's wrong?
Is it an elf thing?
Most I know couldn't find an arrow sitting on it. Right. Maybe I just make it look easy in shy company. Fact still is, no teacher. Where would I find one in alleyways anyway?
You're different for an elf. Kind of odd.
You're not like most of the elves I've met.
Thanks, right? Or was that an insult? Those could go barefoot and whine. Like that Solas, right? Never be as good as we were. Well, who's we? I'm just fine.
Well, there's tradition. There's history. There's knowing where you come from. But you're just saying get over it?
I think there's more to it than that. A few thousand years more.
Hey, someone wants to be angry about old debts, be angry. Be a terror that never lets an enemy forget. But if you're digging it up so you can wear it, that's just weird. I mean, the Dalish don't really know. They have stories, but that's all they are. It's all fancy dress, not history.
I mean, you got a point there, but I still think that it would be important to know where you come from. That's just all I'm saying. Okay, thank you, Sarah.
We'll talk later.
If you say so.
That reminds me, let's go check in with Solas. We haven't talked to him in a while.
I told you that it was complicated. Without the divine.
Closing the breach is our primary goal. But I hope we might also discover what was used to create it. Any artifact of such power is dangerous. The destruction of the Conclave proves that much.
Wait, you think it survived?
You don't think whatever created the explosion was destroyed in the blast?
You survived, did you not? The artifact that created the breach is unlike anything seen in this age. I will not believe it destroyed until I see the shattered fragments with my own eyes.
I mean, I guess it will turn up if it's still around.
Anything with that kind of power is bound to show up sooner or later.
Liliana's people have scoured the area near the blast and found nothing. Whatever the artifact was, it is no longer there. In any case, did you need me for anything?
Tell me about yourself. I mean, I don't really know anything about you.
I'd like to know more about you, Solas.
Why?
Do I need a reason?
Why not?
Privacy? Caution? Concern about the direction of this Inquisition once our work is done?
Then don't tell me. I wasn't asking as part of the Inquisition.
I am sorry. With so much fear in the air. What would you know of me?
I mean, why have you studied the Fade?
What made you start studying the Fade?
I grew up in a village to the north. There was little to interest a young man, especially one gifted with magic. But as I slept, spirits of the Fade showed me glimpses of wonders I had never imagined. I treasured my dreams. Being awake, out of the Fade, became troublesome.
Well, that sounds dangerous.
Did spirits try to tempt you?
No more than a brightly colored fruit is deliberately tempting you to eat it. I learned how to defend myself from more aggressive spirits, and how to interact safely with the rest. I learned how to control my dreams with full consciousness. There was so much I wanted to explore.
That sounds very interesting, but you woke up, right? I mean, obviously.
I gather you didn't spend your entire life dreaming.
No. Eventually, I was unable to find new areas in the Fade.
Why?
2 reasons. First, the Fade reflects the world around it. Unless I traveled, I would never find anything new. Second, the Fade reflects and is limited by our imaginations. To find interesting areas, one must be interesting.
Is that why you're here? Because you wanna use this experience and then see what the Fade will show you?
Is this why you joined the Inquisition?
I joined the Inquisition because we were all in terrible danger. If our enemies destroyed the world, I would have nowhere to lay my head while dreaming of the Fade.
I guess so, but good for you.
Well, it's not the worst reason I've heard to go out and enjoy life.
I'm glad to hear it. In truth, I have enjoyed experiencing more of life to find more of the Fade.
How so?
You train your will to control magic and withstand possession. Your indomitable focus is an enjoyable side benefit. You have chosen a path whose steps you do not dislike because it leads to a destination you enjoy. As have I.
I guess that's a good point. Where have you studied?
You said you'd traveled to many different places.
This world, or its memory, is reflected in the Fade. Dream in ancient ruins, and you may see a city lost to history. Some of my fondest memories were found in crumbling cities, long picked dry by treasure seekers. The best of the battlefields. Spirits press so tightly on the veil that you can slip across with but a thought.
Really? Which battlefields?
Any place in particular?
I dreamt at Ostagar. I witnessed the brutality of the Darkspawn and the valor of the Ferelden warriors. I saw Alistair and the hero Ferelden light the signal fire, and Logain's infamous betrayal of Kaelin's forces.
Wow, that's what you saw? But tell me what happened.
I've heard the stories. It would be interesting to hear what it was really like.
That's just it. In the Fade, I see reflections created by spirits who react to the emotions of the warriors. One moment, I see heroic wardens lighting the fire and a power-mad villain sneering as he lets King Kaelin fall. The next, I see an army overwhelmed and a veteran commander refusing to let more soldiers die in a lost cause.
And you can't tell which is real?
It is the Fade. They are all real.
I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, there's not really a whole lot of... It's not about truth, it's about perspective. And that's what the Fade shows us. It shows us different perspectives on things. Do you work with anybody?
Have you always traveled and studied alone?
Not at all. I have built many lasting friendships. Spirits of wisdom, possessed of ancient knowledge, happy to share what they had seen. Spirits of purpose helped me search. Even wisps, curious and playful, would point out treasures I might have missed.
Wisdom and purpose.
I don't know of any spirits by those names.
They rarely seek this world. When they do, their natures do not often survive exposure to the people they encounter. Wisdom and purpose are too easily twisted to pride and desire.
So they become demons?
You're saying that you became friends with pride and desire demons?
They were not demons for me.
Meaning?
The Fade reflects the minds of the living. If you expect a spirit of wisdom to be a pride demon, it will adapt. And if your mind is free of corrupting influences, if you understand the nature of the spirit, they can be fast friends.
I think I can see your point.
You trust these spirits not to possess you the first time you accidentally make a wish?
Do you trust your friends not to turn on you?
Well, yes, but they're people.
Ah, of course.
You know what I mean.
Are people only people because they are flesh and blood? Is Cassandra defined by her cheekbones and not her faith? Varric by his chest hair and not his wit?
True. But they have free will.
Spirits are bound by their nature. You said it yourself. They're shaped by contact with real people.
Just as Liliana was shaped by contact with divine Justinian, as those who serve the Inquisition are shaped by you. If I change your mind in this conversation, does that mean you're no more real than a spirit?
You've thought about this.
On occasion, yes.
Okay, well, now I'm gonna have to think about it. I'm not sure. We'll see. Maybe we'll come back to this conversation at a later time. Thank you for talking to me, Solas.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Okay. That was interesting. And weird.
Heaven has been
But he's
filled
given me
with
some stuff to think
silence.
about.
I knew then. And
Oh, is that Liliana? Let's talk to Liliana.
Seems odd. I can see them breaking the Chantry's chain.
There were so many questions surrounding Faria's death. Did he think we wouldn't notice? He's killed Faria, one of my best agents, and knows where the others are. You know what must be done. Make it clean. Painless if you can. We were friends once.
Wait, do you have to kill him?
Wait, what are you doing?
He betrayed us. He murdered my agent.
And you'd kill him, just like that.
You find fault with my decision?
Just that one.
I'm sure most of your decisions are fine, but that one? A little extreme.
Extreme? Butler's betrayal put our agents in danger. I condemned one man to save dozens. I may not like what I do, but it must be done. I cannot afford the luxury of ideals at a time like this.
But you should like what you do. That's why you're here, right?
If you don't like what you do, it's a pretty good sign you're doing something bad.
That is certainly one way to put it. Very well. I will think of another way to deal with this man. Apprehend Butler, but see that he lives. Now, if you're happy, I have more work to do.
Okay, well...
Reports of fade rifts and demons keep coming. The people are terrified, and it's only getting worse. The only thing that will calm their fears now is the hope that someone out there can save them. You have to be that someone. No one else has any power over the rifts. Seal them. Your legend will spread, and Thedas will learn to trust the Inquisition.
Why do you care about the mages?
Why do you want me to seek out the rebel mages? Why do you care?
I've known mages. Some of them were better people than me. And yet I'm free and they're not. It's not right.
Well, I can understand that. Tell me about yourself, though, Liliana, because we haven't really had a chance to really talk.
Let's talk about you.
Me?
Yes, you. Tell me about your past, if you want to.
What did you do before you worked for the Divine?
I was a bard, an Orlesian spy for many years. For a time, I also served a small cloister in Lothering. After the Blight, the Divine called on me to oversee her personal network.
Oh, a bard, you say? That sounds interesting.
Can you teach me to be a bard?
Being a bard is so much more than being a spy. It involves a keen understanding of politics, the ebb and flow of influence, the great game. The bard's is an intricate dance where a smile can be sharper than any dagger. The best way to learn is to immerse yourself in it. Perhaps when this is all over, I'll teach you.
Got any good stories?
Bards tell tales. I bet you tell some good ones.
There are plenty of tales in the library. Perhaps you should look for them there.
Oh, well, that's disappointing that you're not going to tell me a story. Okay, that's fine. Talk to you later, Liliana.
I should leave you to your work.
We can always talk later.
Okay.
Make a watch over you.
All things in this world are finite. One man gains, another.
Do I want to talk to Vivian? I guess I could say hi.
Yes?
I don't know. Tell me about yourself?
I'd like to know more about you, Madame Vivian.
Whatever would you like to know?
Where are you from? I mean, I know where we met, but is that where you're from?
Your accent's not Orlesian. Where exactly are you from?
I am from the Circle, my dear. One's country of origin rarely matters there. But if you must know, I was born in Wycombe in the Free Marches. I was sent to the Ostwick Circle, but I transferred to Monsignor while still an apprentice.
Oh. Now, how did you become a courtier?
I'm curious how a circle mage winds up a courtier.
Nobody winds up at court, my dear. It takes a great deal of effort to arrive there. I caught the eye of Duke Bastien de Ghislaine, an advantageous connection that opened many doors. When the position of Enchanter to the Imperial Court became vacant, I was able to secure it.
You married a duke?
You're married to the Duke de Ghislaine?
Of course not, my dear. Don't be ridiculous. Marriage is the business of alliance and inheritance. I'm Bastien's mistress.
What does his wife think?
And what does the Duchess de Ghislaine think of this arrangement?
We got along quite well. Duchess Nicoline and I used to host musical salons together. She was a great patron of the arts. She passed away from a fever a few years ago, the poor dear.
Oh, well, at least you got along, I guess. What does a court enchanter do exactly?
What duties does a court enchanter have?
I am tasked with providing assistance to the Empress on arcane matters. Most of my predecessors restricted this to lighting lamps and doing parlor tricks. In such troubled times as these, however, I provide political advice to Her Majesty on the subject of the Mage Rebellion.
Oh. Okay, well, thank you.
Make her though the darkness comes upon me.
Let's go check in with, Josephine.
Has anyone dared ask? No, I do not think. Ah, Mistress Adar. May I have a word?
Sure.
What did you need?
Well, as you are Talvashos, people have asked. You grew up outside the Canary homeland, but there is no easy way to ask your thoughts on the Q.
You realize that they're not mage-friendly, right? Have you seen what they do to their mages?
I've met mages living under the Cune. Believe it or not, they trust magic even less than the Chantry.
Which indicates you have no reason to join them, and yet people ask how a Kunari could be Andraste's herald. It worries them if they believe it, and angers them if they do not. Convincing them of your good intentions will be tasking.
Okay, well, good luck with endorsing me, because that's not really my problem.
Maybe they'd go easier on the Kunari Herald if they knew of my winsome smile.
I'll be sure to add a postscript to my letters. Strangely, your mercenary work is not so inflammatory. People are fabricating extravagant tales of your heroics.
Okay. Well, I was pretty good, if I do say so myself.
There wasn't a group around that didn't want my help when a tough assignment came up. If you needed it done, Adar was on the top of the list.
I noticed. Liliana found a letter from the captain of your last company. He had nothing but praise for your skill in battle, but doesn't mention what part you played.
Wait. Tully complimented me?
Captain Tully praised me? William Ironass Tully?
That's quite the moniker. But yes, your captain went so far as to say he'd have lost entire battles without you.
But he underpaid me! What?
That miser deducted 5 gold from my pay the day I left.
Whatever for?
Poor morale.
Well, your captain still held your skills in high regard, especially after your last engagement.
I got the enemy to surrender.
I cornered bandits we were chasing and convinced them to give themselves up or be devoured by pet demons. I conjured up a few wisps and they practically threw their weapons away.
If the Chantry had heard and mistook you for a Maleficarum, how daring. I hope life in Haven doesn't bore you compared to such exploits.
I mean... To be honest with you, because I've moved around so much my entire life, this is actually the first stable place I've ever had, so...
Clean sheets, warm food, sturdy walls. I even have a cot instead of a bedroll. Compared to life on the road, this place is luxury.
I would never have described it that way.
I mean, I'm glad you've acclimatized to this place, Harold. Truly.
I mean, yeah.
We can use that.
Okay, good. Alright. I do believe we've talked to everyone. I'm pretty sure we did. Yes. Okay. I'm getting to know my companions slowly but surely. I'm a bit surprised that Blackwall admires me. That took me a little bit by surprise. I am getting more intrigued with the Iron Bull. I definitely want to know more. I am not entirely convinced that he is completely under the influence of the Qun. So there might be some future interesting conversations there. Cassandra has a great deal of honor, and I love that she's not completely blinded by the Seekers or the Chantry. I really respect her for that. And Cullen is a very good soldier. He's a good captain, and I sense that there is an interesting and maybe a little bit of a dark past there that I would like to get to know. All in all, I think I rather like getting to know at least most of my companions. So yeah, today was a pretty good day. It was a good rest here in Haven.